I like the figure, I really do, but did they have to take away his miniskirt? Come on, it's not really the Mark 1 without the miniskirt. From Hasbro's Marvel Legends line, this is the Target exclusive Iron Man Mark 1. Basically the first armor he had in the comics, and even though we've gotten this type of figure multiple times before, including from Hasbro, this is probably my favorite instance I've ever seen of them. The only one that kind of rivaled this is the Toy Biz one, and, well, that figure is definitely showing its age. So I think this was a perfect type of armor, perfect type of costume to get a new go, especially when it comes out just this nice. Taking a closer look, and I really do love a lot of the details here. You can see small rivets in the armor, and also when you look through the eye slits, there's not an actual eyeball in there, but there's this kind of... there's a spot where you could see the eyeballs being, and there's a small glint in that area, which I really enjoy. Because in the comics, it kind of varied as to whether or not you could actually see the eyes through this mask. So I feel like going this way, where the eyes almost look like they're there, but are not, really is a good way to kind of break the difference. And then you have multiple scratches and cuts throughout the armor, especially here in the head. That's, I could see people not being big on this bow damage that's throughout the figure. I think it's great because the figure is literally just one plastic color. I think adding that really helps. You do have a bright blue arc reactor, and you do have some decent articulation, including a barbell joint for the head, a good diaphragm joint down here, universal at the shoulder, and of course a rotation at the upper arm. You do have a double jointed knee, elbow, but you can only get a little bit past the 90 because of the gauntlet. And then of course you have universal at the wrist, universal at the hip, thigh cut, double jointed knee, which actually works really well considering the leg design. And then you have a rocker down here at the ankle and up and down. So they definitely squeezed in all the normal points of articulation. Some are more restricted than others, especially when it comes to comparison to other Marvel Legends, but overall it works. So alongside the figure, you do get a handful of accessories, including 2 alternate hands that are opened. That said, arc reactors are not painted inside them, so that's a bit disappointing, but still well sculpted and well painted, and I do like how they have bow damage on them as well. You do have 2 blast effects, which would be great for a taking off pose. He does have ports here in his feet. You just put those in. And that works pretty well. And then you also have 2 smoke trails. The thing is, the smoke trails are really cool, but if you put them in the way I think you're supposed to, like this, it can make it kind of hard to actually get the flame effect back in. But it does look pretty awesome. Only issue is, no flight stand. And I'm really kind of burnt out on Hasbro doing this. They have so many characters who look good in flying poses, and they seem to want you to be able to put them in flying poses, and yet no flight stand. And that's just, kind of annoying. Overall, this is a figure that I thought I was going to skip over, but once I got it in hand, wow. This might be my favorite Iron Man from who knows how long. And I think it really does help bring an Iron Man collection together. Even if you're not wanting to build up an Iron Man collection, if you've been collecting this Target Avengers line, you're going to eventually have a lineup that's going to perfectly emulate the original looks of all the Avengers. So even for that sub-collection, it would be great. But also, if you just want a cool, kind of robotic-looking figure, this could work in a DC display as a Lexbot, or any other number of things where you might want just a random robot. So I think all this works together into making a very unique Marvel Legends figure, but one that doesn't necessarily have to remain Marvel Legends. And if you're just interested in this figure, but don't necessarily collect Legends, I'd say still pick it up, because you could find a place for it in a different collection. Definitely a figure I adore, but not one that necessarily is going to steal the spotlight.